I'm Buff, and you're watching Squarebody Stuff. Welcome back to Buff's Garage. On this episode, I'm taking the RV, packing it full of tools, and heading over to another YouTuber's place where we're going to do a YouTube collaboration on a very special project. Something you're not going to want to miss. So driving here, I heard the glass give way. I had a temporary fix up there to begin with because last summer we were just driving along, everybody was in the RV, and we just heard a crack, and we look up and the glass was cracked. So taped it up just to make sure it wasn't going to leak or anything, and it did a little bit, but the whole overhang needs redone. But driving back, I heard it implode a little bit, and it did. So we're gonna have to come up with a solution before we hit the road. It's too hot for this. But I've got the window cover upper 3000 going on here, which is just a sheet of metal that was sitting on the side of the house, and trimmed it to fit. It's beautiful. I'm sure it'll block all the wind and water, but for now it's gonna cover up our problem, which is the imploded window, because I have to drive this thing tomorrow. So I've got some self tappers with the little rubber washers. Just happened to have a local here that had some. Thank you, Gene. So I'm zipping those in, and I'm pretty sure they're rated for highway speed, so we're gonna find out real quick. And just like that, window is repaired. You too can do janky repairs. Just make sure you find some roofing tin and some self-tapper roofing screws, and you've got yourself a new overhang. I'm Buff, and you're watching Squarebody Stuff. Just kidding. I'm taking the motorhome, meeting up with Squarebody Stuff at Squarebody Ranch to work on a BNCO Designs truck. A little bit of a YouTube collaboration, if you will. We're trying to throw some add-ons onto this truck, get it running better, more efficient, so that he can get this thing back out, representing his company, showing the world what he has to offer, at the same time getting some decent gas mileage and adding horsepower. So follow me as we jump into the rig and head to Missouri. So I've stopped in Joplin, Missouri, just to get some provisions for the RV. No, not from Rib Crib, from Arby's. Just kidding. Actually, stopped down at the local grocery store and got some food, water, important things, you know, since we're gonna be working in the heat. So I got a couple hours of drive left to go, but it should be a pretty smooth ride. And I've got an RV spot reserved at Squarebody Ranch when I get there. I officially made it to Squarebody Ranch, and I made a new friend. Hey, Tex. How you doing, buddy? That sounds very Duramaxy. I think it is. You can wag that tail, buddy? Oh, yeah. All right, so I made it to Squarebody Ranch and jumped in with Chad, and we motored over here to Springfield, Missouri Horsepower Proving Grounds, I believe is what this is called. And right here, that's Big Booty Judy. It's the one we're going to be working on for the next couple of days. These guys are playing around with trucks and doing burnout stuff. We'll see if we can give you some action on that.
You are now in the presence of a king.
Box there.
You are now in the presence of a king.
So the goal was to dyno Big Booty Judy before we do all the upgrades and swaps and everything, and just see what kind of horsepower it had before and then compare it to what it's going to have after. Hard part is hooking up the old dually to the dyno there, so hopefully we can get this figured out and get things going soon, because I kind of like to see what a stock engine's going to do before we add all the goodies. Guys, we're getting ready to load up to go meet somebody. Hi, Shellman. And turns out we might actually have the adapters we need. So what has happened is we got this awesome hub dyno. We got an even more awesome Squarebody crew cab dually, but the two don't want to play together. So we put out a shout out on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere to try to find these billet hub adapters, and it's basically the old to the new is what we're trying to, you know, bolt pattern. And after hours of waiting, I think we might have them. These guys were going to go run and get it, but I think the guy's close by, so he may just drop by this address and drop them off. Okay, change plans. They are going to go find this part, make sure the person's legit. Don't forget to take a weapon just in case. I mean, you have Chad, but what else do you need? So hopefully they don't get like jacked or anything. Well, they made it back.
So they will take a look.
They're still alive. I was starting to get concerned that they had already become like lampshades or something, but they're alive.
There were more of this.
Yeah, that's a lot of lampshades and skin suits and I was
No,
worried.
we went to the good side of town. They had like privacy fences and everything. Will it work?
The lug nuts go on
But will that then go on there?
with a hammer.
We're gonna find out.
Okay.
If not, O'Reilly's is just down the road.
Do you know a guy?
I might know a guy.
This might work out after all. Like, we might actually pull this off.
O'Reilly spent so much time finding.
And I might actually be in bed before 1 a.m.
Get 13 and struggle
Probably
to figure out how many.
Okay,
I won't.
We need to write this down.
You know, everybody
I already
puts in a
picked
dollar.
mine,
what
but
we doing? Okay.
Oh, a big shiny dollar bill.
Alright,
What's yours, Dad?
What's up at? Oh,
That's a 20. Jeez.
That works.
What's
That
up
works.
yeah, big
gonna be
YouTuber's
mine
got all the
anyway.
money.
And placing our bets for the power level if this bad boy is gonna or bad girl is gonna make.
What's your guess?
My guess? Why I don't want to go first.
I'll go first as the owner of the truck. I say he's going to put 165 down and 300 foot-pounds of torque.
Are we doing horsepower and torque?
Might as well.
I'm not doing a torque number. I'll do 180 horse though.
Are
I'm at 150.
we writing these down?
I don't know what these put out stock.
Yes, is the answer.
It's just sad. I'm gonna say 280.
I was gonna say
It's not-
295 or something like that.
So, oh, 178 horsepower,
Oh, I see how it is.
243 on the torque.
I said 180. I'm gonna go 295 on torque number.
Hold on, I'm gonna go bold. 180 and how much torque?
295.
We are so optimistic.
At least I didn't say it.
Or it's gonna far exceed all of our expectations.
155 and 290.
It's gonna be torquey. There's no doubt.
It's a big one.
Especially
Yeah,
if we
it's
put
gonna
it in
have
first gear, it'll take your jump in all that.
This running first or third?
It'll run in third.
Yeah, you did in third, high gear.
We can run up whatever gear you want, I don't care.
All of them.
All of them.
Guess
Wait, I didn't hear your guess.
there's
John.
not gonna be.
I have a dollar.
You don't have a dollar? Okay.
You don't have a dollar?
I'm broke.
If I loan you the dollar and you win, do I get half?
gotta borrow the dollar.
I think that's how it works. If you loan him the dollar and he wins.
He owes me more than a dollar.
Full pot then.
Somewhere.
But at least he's wearing a good shirt.
Oh, wait, I had his wallet sitting right
So
here. I
they
could
get
have just
Oh yeah. Yeah, you left your wallet in the truck, Buff. We almost bought a lot of nice
That's
stuff.
okay. It wouldn't go far.
I was gonna say you almost bought a set of wheel spacers.
Nope.
I'm gonna say got him for $60.
My wallet in that vehicle wouldn't have bought a candy bar at the store. So
The whole candy bar?
probably a
Nothing but
mini
the fruit?
size, the fun size.
Fun
Fun
size.
size? Well, fun
I've
size
been
is
called
the
that
best size.
before.
Fun size.
All right, my guess
There's
is
worse things
172 on horsepower and 256 on torque.
There you go. It's finally happening. Maybe. We'll fix that this weekend. And put that Holly Sniper on there. It's going to fix that. Totally by accident, I get to claim all the money. Oh, missing it. There we go. Yep, that's right.
That's when it'd be a little more fun.
Drinks? Drinks?
What?
Drinks?
Yes.
Huh? Yeah.
I mean, or tacos. I don't know how many tacos this buys.
Haven't eaten since
If we fold them long way, no, never mind. Not putting that in the video. Here's the money I won. I need to find out whose is this because they know how to party. Just saying. All these are flat. This one's not. Which one of you was it? So what do you think, buddy?
Some of them weren't full fill.
It's got all the horse torques? Well, we're gonna improve that. Well, believe it or not, we actually got this truck dynoed, and this is the before. So those numbers you saw were the before numbers. And thanks to complete random guess, I won a whole $6 on that bet. But yep, now we are going to jump into tomorrow and start the teardown activities on Big Booty Judy, throw on all the extra mods, and then they will dyno it after the fact. I will probably not be here because it'll be at a different event, but as soon as I have those numbers, I will share them with you guys, and we can see how much we actually improved the truck. So Big Booty Judy finally arrived to Squarebody Ranch. We're going to take the stock that we got here, add a little bling, insert bling, and see if we can't transform this truck into a road running monster. Well, we had a late night last night. Didn't go to bed till around 3:30 in the morning, but we got Big Booty Judy in the shop. Everybody's here and running a little slow. It's kind of rough not getting any sleep, and it's already hot, so you know we're gonna have a blast. But we're gonna get in there. They've already started the tear down, so I gotta catch you guys up on what we're doing. And there's Chad. Hey, Chad. But we'll try to keep yeah, see, now you made that's my train of thought. We're gonna try to keep you going on the action throughout the day. We're not just gonna let it run, but you'll see what we're doing.
How AC vents come out of the bezel on one.
Well, you just cut them out like that one.
Tappy tap?
No, in the middle. Just cut it out.
Oh, just right here.
Yeah, just saws all it out.
All that effort.
Here doing some cutting. Jacob and I are going to pull this hood off. Just get it out of the way, get us more light, and make it easier to work on what we're doing. All right, I gotta get in the shot. All right, so I'll give you a shot under the hood in a minute. We had to employ the Sawzall and a whole lot of words that we didn't want to put on this video because we didn't want to get demonetized. But let's get you a close-up view. So much more room for activities. Jacob, what are you tying up?
Well,
We have zip ties and I'm scared to ask.
well, in the event that you want to put it back to the ugliness that was in here, I'm just gonna zip tie this factory harness out of the way and kind of just clean this all up a little bit.
All right, so the new system doesn't use the original harness.
New system uses a completely new harness.
Okay, so we're wiring a whole new harness.
Yep. And actually,
But Jacob's going the extra mile and gonna wire this up or tie it up out of the way, so just in case he needs parts money, he can sell that and put the old stuff back in.
exactly.
Because you never know when you gotta sell your parts to buy more parts.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Man, it's crazy the way an FD's designed. Just half the friggin' head is in the intake.
Alright, we're at the point of no return now.
She a little ugly.
With humidity.
All of it.
So it's definitely in the 90s. It feels like it's much hotter, but we've got the smoke cooler going, fans going. We're actually getting somewhere on this thing. I don't know where we're getting, but we're getting somewhere.
Emissions garbage.
Oh, I was fixing to say Sawzall. We were way ahead. I wouldn't say way, just slightly adjacent. Alright, let's start the
So, instrument cluster,
is a
steering
cluster.
wheel, steering wheel. Anybody else see the issue here?
If you could just pass it through the hole. Where's it at? There, yeah. Pass it through there.
Pass it all through there.
At least it's all soldered and perfect.
Oh yeah.
It's like the perfect flare on the brake line, and yet you forgot to put the nut on.
Yeah.
This is real life, people. You're not the only ones that make these stupid mistakes. We do it, and we capture it for you on camera. Normally we would just throw caution to the wind and just jump right into it, but this is kind of a big deal. Gear vintage overdrive is not for the faint of heart. And since the cumulative total of all of us have done 0 of them, he's taking the time to know what he's talking about, making sure he's got every T dotted and I crossed. So I'm going to take my crossed eyes and go back to helping these guys. Level 1. Come back and tell me what we're doing. So it's got a radio delete.
Radio delete, he's putting his stereo right here is what he said.
Oh, so yeah, it's already been cut for maximum exposure. We did not do that.
Yeah,
we did not hack that up.
No. But anywho.
But you need to do a sniper where?
We are mounting the monitor for the sniper right here.
Can you double side tape that?
Yes. We're double siding tape the monitor. But the problem is the wire, I don't want it to run down here. I mean, it'll probably be fine right there.
So the sniper is basically plug and play because we've got all the parts on that end, we got all the parts on this end, it's ready to go. But this fancy digital dash, who makes that, you know?
Autometer.
Autometer, seriously, that wiring. I mean, we've got this, but come on, we can do better. We kind of had to come to a spot where we're stopping for a minute. Guys are running to parts store. No, they're going to O'Reilly's, huh? Yeah. Guys are going to O'Reilly's to go get parts. There's just a few things that we don't have that we need to finish this up. Not that we're anywhere close to finishing. Here's all the wiring for the new dash that Jacob is putting in. But in that we found a lot of the old wiring from the custom coach conversion that was done on this truck early on. Most of it was either already cut, spliced together, or just not connected to anything. So rather than have any excess wires we don't need or any fires that we definitely don't want, I've been going through and tracing all these wires to figure out what goes where, what do we need to make the system work, what are we going to add, where does it go. I'm just trying to route it and make it prettier. I mean, Brad's going to use this truck for showcasing his stuff that he sells, and part of that is if he opens that hood, he doesn't want spiderweb wires. So we're going to do our best to make it look pretty and actually work. But don't hold me to that. So while these guys are finishing some mock-up on all that top end, hi Sean, I'm going to go ahead and start tackling more of the electronics for the new sniper setup that we have. So I'm going to clean a nice pretty spot on the firewall or the fender to install our sniper hyper spark box, our sniper coil, and all the wiring. So with all the other wiring that we're cleaning off the truck that we don't need, we now want to loom all this stuff up and try to make it look halfway decent on the outside in the engine compartment. Make it look like it belongs without standing out too much. So I got my hands full. So I've got to read all of the instructions on how to make all the electronics from here work with the electronics from out there. but it's hot. And we did get a break in the weather. It dropped about, I don't know, 10 degrees or so. And that's better. It's not quite cookies baking in the oven. I'm not saying I'm a cookie. I'm more like a turkey or a ham or just an idiot. But right now, we're going to see if we can make this light up just because. And in case you forgot, we like to use the no-code boost.
Arrow thing on shop back.
Set turn on.
You gotta push the front one.
Oh.
Now push the top one.
Jacob! It's so sexy! Oh, yeah, yeah! So, like you said, well, I apologize, guys. I missed the magic moment placing the Holly Sniper on, but it's alright. We haven't torqued anything down yet, so you're not going to see anything too exciting yet. But when you got toys to play with, you play with toys. He's torquing those things down to spec, trust me.
With the C7.
Oh, see, that's how you know it's done right. When the C7 pops, you're torqued.
In spec.
That wheel will not fall off at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, we both know.
Because I didn't do it.
We both know it will.
And okay, for my regular viewers, I have to let you know, I didn't lose any vehicle wheels in this episode so far, but I did lose a wheel, and it was on the old Harbor Freight Creeper. I was coming up underneath the truck. Big Booty Judy was, you know, doing her job, and I roll out and sure enough, lost a wheel. Are you surprised? I'm not. We went ahead and put that back on, torqued to the spec. We're good to go for another 3,000 miles. Has this ever happened to you? Do you find yourself trying to install your sniper system and you're just 2 flat washers short? Well, we've got a solution. Check this out. So these guys have been reaching in their pockets and scouring to make sure they didn't have any kind of rare penny or anything. But we're going to take some pennies, make some 1-cent washers that you can use at home. All you need is a drill. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 1-cent washer. We're going to take that, we're going to make it all pretty, and we're going to go put it in the Holly Sniper, because that's what we do here at Squarebody Ranch.
Actually, what we're going to do is drill all of these and then get a 5/16 drill bit and finish doing it.
Don't touch him. He's over there, he doesn't know what we're doing. Dun dun dun. Got your penny?
Got my penny. Where to put it? Heads up. Hey, wait. If I'm ever in a flipping contest, I always call tails. The tails never fail.
That's right. Might as well pull the water pump. I'm a don't broke, don't fix it guy. Just saying. Water pump's cheap and you can do it on the side of the road. Chad wouldn't let us bump start it. His shop, his rules. So he's going to turn it over. We're going to find top dead center. We're going to stab this distributor. Hyperspark? Hyperspark.
Accuracy.
We're going to stab this Hyperspark distributor. And then we'll start putting all the wiring together.
Do what?
Maybe hear this thing fire up. We still have the Gear Vendor's overdrive to put in.
Not crushing.
Yeah. Every cylinder's got a spark plug in it.
A new spark plug.
Intake one is coming up.
Yep.
My cylinder does.
That's the workhorse right there.
That's the one making 100 horsepower.
You divide the remaining horsepower with all the other cylinders.
There you're exhausted.
Going out there, I'm just trying to take the pressure bleed off whatever cylinder to see.
Keep going, you'll find that self-tapper I dropped.
So when it locks up and you can't move it anymore, and it's not because of compression, there's a self-tapping screw.
It is in neutral, isn't it?
No? That's on video.
Well, when you park it in the garage, you gotta leave it in gear, right?
That's right. It was in.
Good thing they didn't try to bump start it.
Out of crap, you have to touch it.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Oh, you got safety stuff hooked up on your truck.
It's original, Chad. Or was.
Squarebody. No more. It's past the Squarebody stuff ranch. It ain't original no more.
Neutral safety, what? Nah, we don't do that.
My clutch safety switch is now a two-step switch.
Well played, sir.
It is. That's how my two-step kicks in.
We're either at the right one or the wrong one.
There's 180, then there's correct.
This is 220.
You put it in wrong and you just flip it 360? No, 180, and then we'll get it right. But it's Hyperspark distributor time. Stab that puppy in, and then make vroom vroom noises.
You can get a shot of these dogs.
All right, we'll do that.
Yin and yang.
They didn't know each other yesterday. Look at them now. That's how far we do.
Come here, Jacob.
Well, good morning. It is day 2 of the build. Third day in the video, but day 2 of the Big Booty Judy build. We got a lot done yesterday. So the whole idea was we were going to get this stretched out over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And in that time frame, we've knocked out, I'd say, 90% of the top end work. So the sniper system, the intake, the headers, the new dash, all of that pretty much wrapped up yesterday. We've got a few odds and ends on the wiring to do today. And then of course, we've got a gear vendor's overdrive we're gonna get put in. Oh, and an all new exhaust. So I think we'll have most of this wrapped up today with the finishing touches on Sunday. Give us some time to just kind of chill out, relax, and enjoy each other. And I think it's gonna be a very successful weekend. And Big Booty Judy's gonna be better for it. So let's get this day started. Don't look directly at the wheel. Hey Jacob, what have you been working on?
So we've got the end cab wiring for the Autometer Envision gauges wrapped up, and we've got power run to the outside, got it grounded. We've got this sniper monitor mounted. I'm fixing to have to tear all this back apart to mount our indicator lights for our gear vendors. But we're to the point now where we can start this up, hit the key, There we go.
And what do you think about it?
I normally am an analog gauge type of person 100% of the time. Well, I say 100%, let's say 99.5% of the time.
Right.
So this is awesome.
Woo! That's cool. We got a little break from the heat. This should cool us off a little bit so we can get back to work. Yeah, the first one was colder. Well, now that it's raining, we got screen,
All the screen. We've got all of our in-cab wiring on our Autometer Envision. I'll get that right one of these days. Gauges, all the in-cab wiring is done on them. We can hit the key and these things look awesome, especially since you have several different options for your display. Check that out.
Oh, cool. And so this doesn't have to be used with just a sniper. You can use it with anything. As long as you have a sensor to feed it, it'll show up on the screen.
Exactly, and everything is included in the wiring harness. The only thing that made this a little bit more of a challenge to install at all, for one, is installing the sniper harness here and making it look like anything. And I just
want to point out, there's no wire showing. So all you sniper guys that just got your wire run under the dash or whatever, this is your guy. He professionally installed that. You can't even see it.
Yeah, and we're fixing to have to tear it all back apart because this gear vendor's overdrive setup that we're installing, it's going to have, wherever Brad chooses, there's going to be a red indicator light and a green indicator light for when your overdrive is either on or off. So I've got to drill a couple more holes here, and then once we get all of that done, it's on to wiring the gear vendors, which really isn't that big of a deal either, and then we can mount this thing solid for the last time.
Basically, what did you think of the install?
It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad at all. There's just a handful of wires that come with the gauge cluster, and really the only thing that made it take any time at all is the fact that we have sniper wiring to do because we're installing that sniper system, and we've got the gear vendor overdrive that kind of, it all ties together, and we couldn't fasten this permanently or wire everything permanently until everything else was wired permanently. This is kind of, everything has to run back to this. Of course, your fuel gauge, your oil pressure switches, and the kit comes with new switches, or sending units rather. It all comes back to this. Everything that we're doing kind of ends up back in the dash. So that's the only reason it took any time at all. And if it was a different circumstance and all you were installing was this, I'd say just 2 or 3 hours. Wouldn't be that big of a deal at all.
And it's super clean. It definitely gives a just a whole new look to the truck. So like Jacob said, it comes with new sending units and a whole lot of wires. But I have gone through and put the wires that we fed through the firewall, routed them through loom, and it's still not complete yet, but all of this loom has been getting hidden down under the lower part of the firewall, so that the only thing you see on the engine is just what we need to power a sensor or accessory or whatever. The whole goal is it should pretty much be hidden or factory looking. So I'm finishing up the sniper and the coil over there. I've got a few more wires to hook into our heat ignition, which we've got ran already. We just got to power it up. Once we have fuel, this thing's ready to fire for the first time. I said noon, right?
You did.
Yeah, isn't it noon? Oh, okay. Noon-ish, maybe noon o'clock.
Maybe
5?
noon plus 3.
Okay.
Maybe noon plus 4.
Let's just say by dinner time.
Sure.
All right. So by dinner time, that's what we're going to do.
It went. Cycle it again. On the bright side, with this much fuel pressure, a leak is going to be evident.
Ready?
I think we're ready. Go for it, bro.
Fuel line. Right here. It just started when I laid down. I didn't touch it.
Okay.
So at this point we're checking for leaks, just letting it idle and learn. We did have a pretty huge leak like you guys just saw. We replaced all of that line. Woo! That was loud. So when you have all that old line with all this high pressure, just it pulled out. Just like my eardrums. I wouldn't have it any other way. Beautiful morning here at Squarebody Ranch. This is day 4. Day 4, but day 3 of the build. And I gotta tell you, whew, it's taking a toll on all of us. I am exhausted. I am sore. But you know what? Last night, that was an amazing feeling to hear Big Booty Judy fire up once again. As tired as we all were, as many setbacks as we had, it was still great to hear that old big block just fire right back up. And I gotta be honest, the relief I had that the wiring I did didn't fail. Yet. Every once in a while I get something right. So this is the last day of the build. One way or another, I gotta leave. Brad from BNCO has to go home, back to Minnesota. We're losing Jacob because he's given up his whole weekend and days off. He's got to go do family stuff. He showed up today. He's a dedicated guy. I think we'll start the morning by cleaning up the shop because we were beat last night. And we'll get to work on installing that Gear Vendor's overdrive, get Big Booty Judy back on the road. That's the remnants of everything there. Jacob's chilling this morning after all that wiring. In true Squarebody stuff ranch fashion, it is an actual working ranch. It's got cows. Apparently one of them wandered out. So we're assembling our cowboy wrangling squad and we're gonna go get a cow. Did you bring a rope? We're gonna go play with cows. Found the culprit. Uh-oh. Man, the myth, the legend. The cow whisperer. Going that way. Look at her. She's like, "Aw, you caught me." Knows right where she needs to go. Where was that hole at? Yeah, she knows. Get back in there.
I told you to stay over here. Get over here.
So it worked.
There's half a big block sitting back here.
And a 671 blower.
That's part of the big block.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, and this morning I'm going to go ahead and try out my Brunt Workwear boots. Brunt Workwear sent me a great set of boots. They're really beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I already got them wet this morning. Already got them a little dirty, but they are work boots. They're pretty comfortable. We went and chased some cows. So I hope the break-in goes well. And I'm sure we're gonna get them dirty today. And make sure to check out Busted Grill Garage. Got a cool Rufus car and Charlie Brown truck. This guy did all that wiring, so he did a great job. We did chase a fuel sending issue, fuel sending unit issue yesterday, and got a little discouraging when everything was working except fuel gauge. Now, this is a dual tank setup, so the whole concern was maybe the autometer gauge system doesn't work well with dual tank sending unit, but it should, right? So we went through the Field of Dreams, did a little stop and educate with Professor Squarebody out there, and found out that it is very simple design, and hopefully Chad's going to cover that soon on Squarebody stuff, because I thought that was really interesting how that dual tank setup works. But in trying to figure it out, I may or may not have broke the coveted dual tank switch, but thankfully Field of Dreams had one, so we got that replaced. And we found out that when we clearanced for the valve cover back here, one or more wires might not have gotten out of the way of the old Sawzall. So it's
Sawzall's fault. And that Sawzall blade tickled a couple of wires that just happened to be integral to the fuel sending, and long story short, we lost 2 hours tracing the wire from here to there, all the way back, and I finally found where the damage was. We repaired it. We're good to go. So after all that wiring, we're down to these few. That's to our gear vendor setup. So let's get to work.
Alright, we're going to we've got to leave here just a little bit, so we just want to hear it fire up one last time and see his gauges that he installed one last time. So we're going to do a cold start. Yeah, hit it.
Beauty.
Clutch safety switch.
Look at them RPMs. Smart enough this time not to be directly under the exhaust pipe, but it sounds good. That was a cold start, been sitting all night long. Of course, EFI fired right up. So now we're gonna get this thing nice and hot, just so we can crawl underneath and start pulling apart that transmission. Get our gear vendor's attachment put on there. That'll give us overdrive in that 3-speed with a low gear, and hopefully he's headed back home tonight. Me too, actually. Well, it's a good thing, even if it doesn't seem like a good thing. We're gonna put the lid back on Big Booty Judy so we can start focusing on the underneath stuff. That's just one more thing we don't have to do at the end of the day. Brad's gonna fire Big Booty Judy up, take her for her first test run, and that'll kind of get all that computer stuff working and doing its thing, kind of learning what it needs to do, and then we'll come back and get that gear vendor's overdrive done so we can go back home. What do you think, Brad?
That feels pretty good.
Good.
It's, sniper tuning is doing its thing and still learning its things, so it's pretty neat from what the truck was. Not that it was anything other than, you know, an old truck with, with some old parts, and now the throttle response is awesome. It almost drives like a new truck. So.
That's awesome. No issues, I assume?
We blew the 710 cap out, but we got that back in.
Oh, good.
It's still on there.
So with the truck back from test drive, it's gear vendor time. These guys will get to pulling that drive shaft. I'm going to pull this drive shaft because we're going to lose some link out of this one. Because we're going to have that gear vendors right on the back of the end. So those bolts have been marinating and penetrating oil since yesterday or 2 days ago. So hopefully those will back off. And then we got to get that cross member out, take off this tail shaft, and then it's gear vendor time. Oh, that's great, man. We're going to go ahead and So I think we're going to go back to the Squarebody stuff. School of drive shafts. But I think I'm going to clean this up, make it pretty. Grease off of it, maybe even shoot a little rebuild 1000 on it. This behind the shop moment is brought to you by Super Clean. Super Clean was nice enough to send me all their swag and their products, and we're going to use it on Brad's transmission cross member here. Let it get a good soak in there, scrub it, give it a rinse, see if we can't get most of the grime off Big Booty Judy's parts here. Now I don't have a pressure washer that I'm working with, so I'm just going to give it a good liberal dose of Super Clean, and then I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to scrub it and hose it off. My RV park stay did not have water hookups for the RV, so this is also my bathtub. A little chilly in the morning. It gets the job done. So while that soaks and kind of cuts away all that grease and grime, I'm going to go back inside and check on how the guys are doing on that Gear Vendors Overdrive. How's it looking?
Looking good, I guess. A little greasy here and there, but we're about to get this tail shaft housing off.
Awesome. There we go.
There it is.
So the new Gear Vendors, as you understand, will bolt right to that.
Yep, the adapter will go right to that. Then the Gear Vendors will go to the adapter, but first I've got to put the collar on here and the adapter and check for backlash, make sure we got to get the shims just right. So I'm going to take a little break.
Sounds good. Well, I lucked out. Found a pressure washer. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more super clean. They're getting close to needing this inside, so I need to get it cleaned and fresh it up. Feels good. Alright, after we got it all cleaned up, got a pressure wash, Super Clean did an amazing job of getting all of the grease and grime and everything else off the surface. Pressure washer didn't hurt either. So now we're going to let it bake in the oven for 350 degrees, about 15 minutes. Should be casserole perfect. We'll get it all spruced up and put back in Big Booty Judy. So we'll stop for a minute. We got to do a little clearancing on the cross member that we just cleaned up. And, oh hi puppy. And then we should be able to get this thing final mounted. Gear benders will be secured. They can start working on the drive shaft, and I guess I can finish up the wiring that Jacob started yesterday. And then I guess with everything buttoned up, Big Booty Judy will be ready for a second road test. And then all the way to Minnesota. Yeah. Let me tell you guys, it has been a busy 4 days, especially the last 3, especially with the heat. Thankfully, the weather broke yesterday, it rained, cooled off, and now Big Booty Judy's headed out for the second time. We're gonna get her off these jack stands, but this is what happens when your fuel pump goes. You gotta go ahead and gotta change out your intake, gotta put a sniper on. Go ahead while you're there and upgrade your coil and everything else. So, but then you want to get all the fuel mileage you can because your fuel pump hasn't been working. So you better put in the gear vendors. That way you can downshift, get a few extra RPMs, extra miles per gallon. Big Booty Judy is revived. She's got a second life now. It's been a long several days. But special thanks to Brad from BNCO Designs, Chad, Squarebody Stuff, and Shellman. And of course, the guy that decided to cut out early, Jacob from Busted Grill Garage, who did most of the actual wiring on a lot of it. I'm going to give him credit for that. There's a few things I gave him a hard time about, but then again, I had a little design flaw too that we had to fix with the cutoff wheel, so we all make mistakes. But everything fits now. So far, everything works. We're gonna give this gear vendors a try, and Big Booty Judy's going home. So am I. Make her do things. Now on that switch, I don't know which one's off and on. I think oh, you got it? Okay, cool. Big Booty Judy made it back. Let's see how she did. She did the shifty thing. Didn't vibrate at all, did it?
Oh, no, I didn't think about it until we was on our way back and he's hammering down. I said, it don't vibrate a bit. We probably done 80.
Oh, nice.
It was in overdrive.
And it was all in overdrive, everything worked.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, that actually concludes the Big Booty Judy build. Believe it or not, we accomplished everything we wanted to do in the last 4 days. It's been crazy, but thanks to the team, we got it done. I want to say special thanks to Brad Curtis from BNCO Designs. He's the one who owns Big Booty Judy, and he pretty much paid for all the parts this weekend. And of course, even threw in a shirt. Thank you, Brad. Special thanks to Chad and Heather, Squarebody Stuff, for giving me an awesome RV spot here at Squarebody Stuff Ranch. Appreciate you guys. Jacob from Busted Grill Garage, pretty amazing mechanic, great with the wiring, and next time you can have it all, buddy. Of course, Showman for wrenching and helping out. He was excellent to have around the shop because he already knows where everything's at. And of course, Deb, we appreciate you. She kept bringing the snacks, kept the DJ going. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, and last but not least, that swamp cooler that Mom got was a lifesaver. So from everybody, thanks, Mom. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching, hitting that like and subscribe, put some comments below, and thanks for watching Buff's Garage. To do this the first time. Don't miss it.
Well, we've already had to brake twice.
Now, yesterday we talked about what we don't use on the China wall. We don't use the little gasket that comes with it, right?
You asking for another O'Reilly pro tip?
O'Reilly pro tip.
O'Reilly pro tip.
Based upon what we've learned today, what is your O'Reilly pro tip? This is not sponsored by O'Reilly.
Seal your coolant passages, both sides of the gasket, the first time you put them in. Or else you end up watching Buff have a red, white, and blue light up pad on it, on his head. And it's 9:30 at night, and this thing should have been running 6 hours ago.
At noon.
Yeah.
Yes.